Hello, can you hear me? I'm just going to check on my own, just on my phone here, just to make sure. I'll chat then. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so I'll just get started. Sorry about the unprofessional start there. Um, basically, I just want to set up this channel and I want to do a few live streams just because I don't know, I find the 10-minute videos a little bit actually difficult to do. So I just want to do a few live streams and just do them maybe a little bit longer and just have a chat. I just want to make sure I share the StreamYard link or the YouTube surely. So yeah, so just what I want to do is basically with this stream, just talk about options for nationalism. My own. Sorry, no, I'm just trying to get this shared on Twitter. My own ideas about nationalism and that are really just they're really anti-system, and I see the banking system and all that, and it's traditional Irish viewpoint, like it's a traditional Irish viewpoint, like that we should be free of the banks. It's basic enough, but like where we're standing at the moment, everyone is involved in the banking system, like, you know. So just for ourselves, I think we need to be doing more to get out of that, and I'm going to go through that in this stream. Hopefully it'll make sense. So I'll just tweet this out here then, and I'll kind of be able to concentrate a bit better. So yeah, so as I say, the stream, I just want to talk about maybe a strategy and some tactics, like just to get us out of this, or just to deal with the situation that we're already in, and that, like, we have to deal with it, and what's the best way to deal with it. So what I think, like, basically the basic thing of nationalism is like that we are going to looking just for self-determination, really, for ourselves, and the best way to do that really is getting out of the banking system. Like it's self-determination for ourselves as a people, and the confusion, like, is that it's the system that is supposedly creates the money and whatever, but, you know, human beings support that system. Like, so as this corporate system now is going to say, like, if you don't get your vaccinations or whatever else they decide that you need to do, ultimately you won't be allowed participate in the system. And I think it's pretty obvious now. Like, it should be obvious to people now. You know what I mean? Like, you can see even on the mainstream news, you know, they're talking about tracker apps or, you know, digital currencies. You can see right wing people getting refused access to bank accounts and stuff. Now we can see as well with the masks, that is going to ramp up a lot. Like, next year it's going to be intense, like with the whole thing about vaccines, and if you don't get a vaccine and that, like, that's number one probably for me. Like, is I'm not going to be getting a vaccine no matter what happens. And I think a lot of people feel that way. And like, if you look at the consequences of that decision, like it's going to be very serious because, as I say, the corporations do control everything to the last seed that's sold. You know what I mean? Like, Monsanto, Terminator seeds. It's it's pervasive, like, to say the least. So what I think we should be doing in Ireland is, as I say, removing ourselves from the corporate system. It is the banking, taxation, the UN, the whole thing, citizenship, PPS numbers, and all that. They are locking us into this sort of system of rules. It's a system, it's a law, like, it's called a system of law, but it's not like the common law that we're used to. It's because someone can write the rule, and because you are citizen, whatever, you must follow the rule. And it's got nothing to do with elections and democracy and all that. Like, just, there are people just arbitrarily writing whatever rules they want to get us to do whatever. So the strategy is to remove ourselves from that, because if you don't partake in the system, and no, it means no bank account, no whatever, the rules don't apply to you. Like, if you don't register your child and you don't do whatever, the state can't take that child off you, because your child isn't part of the corporate system. It's only when you register your child is given a PPS number, that child, then you're registering your child with the state into the corporate system, and you're saying the rules apply to my child, and that, they take that seriously. Then, like, that's why children have the PPS number, so they can write laws about them, like, that apply to them, to your children. So, as I say, so we need to, I think, get ourselves out of it. And it's not impossible. And I think Ireland is probably the best place for a group of people. I haven't a clue of numbers. As I say, if I end up, I don't know, like, doing it on my own, I don't know, because I'm just not going to get a vaccination. Like, so, and like, we'll have to just work these things out as the reality, materializes, and like, it's encouraging for me, like, to see the reaction to this thing about mandatory vaccinations. Like, I do think there will be a good few people, like, I think there'll be enough people to set up a community. And like, the community should be based on tangible things and things that we have in abundance here in Ireland. Like, so, like, what we would need as a community, if we decided, okay, look, we're not having our children sexualized in school, we're not going vaccinating ourselves every year or 6 months or whatever, we're not submitting to being tested the whole time, or saying you can work today, you can't work tomorrow, you can't work for 2 weeks, no, you can work, or, you know what I mean? The insurance industry is destroying people. There's just so much, just there's so much wrong with the system, and there's so little benefit in it as well now at the moment. Like, it's a very unhealthy system to be in. And like, obviously it wouldn't be easy to set up like a parallel community or whatever, but I think it has to be worth trying, because otherwise I don't know what the other option is. Like, otherwise you're getting vaccinated, or you're just going to, you're just not going to get access to money and food and whatever. So like just a few of, let's say, the tactics or whatever that we could use, like, would be, okay, we what we need to be is self-sufficient in food and energy. Like, obviously electricity is a very tricky one. It depends. Like, I mean, if a load of people got on board with it, and you might be able to, like, form a union that could deal with electricity companies or something like that. Or, I don't know, like, I don't have all the details of everything, but food sufficiency should be not too difficult, hopefully. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's mainly what we do, is produce food. Now, obviously, like, we know about the famine and that, this country can be full of food, and people can starve no problem. So like we need to have ownership of it, like, you know. And I'm just hoping, you know, farmers and stuff will get on board. Like farmers sort of kind of blow my mind a small bit. Like, I mean, with the resources kind of that they have, where they're just getting taxed to bits, they're getting crushed on price. And I'm not a farmer, and I kind of can't understand how they're kind of getting themselves, they're still letting themselves get treated like that. Like, hopefully this will cause some of them to snap. We wouldn't need huge amounts of land or whatever, but we just need to be able to produce our own food. And, you know, we'll want to obviously get farmers involved. We'll want everybody involved, like trades and solicitors and whatever. Like, we can make this thing attractive for people. The next thing is then obviously we would need our own currency. That sort of stuff isn't really very difficult either. It mostly works on trust. You know, the actual money system that we're involved in with the euro and all that is, you know, it's not good for us. Obviously, it's good for the banking system and whatever. It's a system to enslave us, like. But you have different types of money systems, and really, it's a means of exchange. It's what I look at money as, like, you know what I mean? Like, does it really have an inherent value? Like, well, it doesn't need to have, but I think our system, the one I would advocate for, would be one that doesn't have interest attached, and that's based then in some sort of tangible asset like beef or butter or CBD or something like that. That your 20 punt note can get you, you know what I mean, so many grams of CBD or whatever, but you just use it as money, like normal money. But if you wanted, you can exchange it for something. It is valuable. It is valuable, like, you know what I mean? And you would have access to something of value to you. You know what I mean? Like, you could be left hanging, like with the euros, or, you know, whatever, like, even, yeah. So, and then like probably our own credit union as well, whatever. Like, the benefit of doing that is, like, this happened. Plenty of communities have used these types of currencies before, like, you know, in America they're popular, and South America, I think, and different places they use them for different reasons. But if you use one in beside, let's say, like the euro, which is fiat currency, your currency will increase in value compared to the euro, because of inflation and, you know, all the crazy stuff that's going on with it now. I mean, it's going to go digital anyway soon, and there'll be no real logic in it. It'll be like, you know, the credit system, isn't it? So, credit unions. Another one then obviously would be homeschooling. This huge positive. This is a huge positive. Like, I mean, just even the way it is now, before the time of vaccines, schools are nightmare stuff. Nightmare stuff. Like, some schools are better than others, but the way they're setting up the system is, you know, parents can't go into the school, and, you know, I really, really, really don't obviously trust the state, like. And this is only increasing and increasing from their point of view, like, you know what I mean? So homeschooling, or like community schooling, depending on how many people were in an area or whatever, could do our own schools, no problem. All the stuff that's on the curriculum is available to download and whatever, like, you know. So that's that. And then I think, like, it's not going to be a high tech community. It's not going to be that, like, you know what I mean? It is going to be probably quite drastic, like, in terms of, well, it depends on how it goes, but industries, like, you have, as I say, the food industry, People always need to eat, and like in about, I don't know, like in 5 years' time maybe, or whatever, people who are going to the mainstream and buying processed food and whatever are going to be eating like just horrible stuff. Like it's hardly even going to be really food. Like it's there's a YouTuber called Ice Age Farmer. You should check out his stuff. He does a lot on what goes into food production now, and when they change the laws and what they have to write on the labels and whatever. Like they can sell you chicken nuggets now that are made of crickets or cockroaches or whatever, and they don't have to tell you. Like they just need to say how much protein is on the in the ingredients. They don't have to tell you whether it's chicken or cockroach or whatever already know, like, you know. So that food is going to be absolute poison. Like, and again, I think if we did try and build a parallel community, that food would have to be number one up there, like, you know, like that we eat healthily, and because that's going to be like gold in the coming years, being able to get access to good food. Like the same thing again, like 150 years ago, great food in the country, and it all left, and we were left with nothing. Like so, so that'll be another one there. And then I think the music as well. There should be a focus on the music, because if we really are to kind of succeed as a resilient like community, like let's say, like I mean, I'm thinking like the Amish or whatever in America. You know what I mean? Like they have their own society because they have their own laws and they behave in their own ways, and they do that. And there's no reason we couldn't do it here. But I think the music would be, yeah, would just be a good way to just keep the story going. Like speaking Irish, it's a great. It would be a good goal and whatever, but I just think at the moment, people can learn in school and whatever they want, but the music is really something else and very important, I think, for us, like for our psyche and that. So I would have a big focus on music as well. And how long am I? 20 minutes. Yeah, not too bad. I have a few other bits there, I suppose. Yeah. Yeah, I think the music. So, yeah, as I said, resilient. So, people often talk about the anti-fragile globalist system, and that is what it is. Like, it's for a lot of reasons, but based on their legal system and their just their concept of law and whatever. So, like, you have this corporate law system where it's always being added to, like, you know what I mean, and it's Old Testament kind of ideology and stuff like that, and it's constantly changing, it's constantly adapting, and we know how it is by interacting with it. Like, you know what I mean? It as soon as someone, some people come up with something, system counters it, like, So, like, that's why I think really that it's. I'm not going to say it's pointless, but like if you're working within the system, so you have your PPS and you're running for elections or voting and doing all this stuff, because it's all within the anti-fragile system. It's learning all the time from your behavior, and it's also getting stronger because it's countering your behavior, and it's, you know what I mean, it's implementing rules to keep you hemmed in or to counter what you're doing or what you're trying to do and whatever. So the thing, and like that's republicanism then, is that you say, no, we're doing it all for ourselves. We don't need your usury. We don't need your taxation system or your insurance companies or anything like that. We don't need any of them. And so we just say, no thanks. We're going to do our own thing here. And that's then what we're looking to do is set up a resilient system that the main objective is that interacting as little as possible with the corporate system. Not at all, if possible. Like, and like, if you don't register your child with the system, they can't process you through the system if you don't originally contract with it. Really, is what it is. So you're contracted into it by, as I said, your PPS number and your bank account and all that. There's a lot of rules involved in that you have to follow, and that's why we're getting caught in it, like, you know. So that is pretty much it, I think. I just wanted to, as I said, do a live stream and just try and get that out kind of in one go. I'm happy enough with it. Yeah. So yeah, like, I think it'll just give us a chance to exist as an ethnic group, because otherwise, you know, it's going to be you're just going to be within that system, and this whole thing about testing and vaccinations and all, like, it doesn't make me it doesn't fill me with hope, like, and whatever, you know, bad things are going to happen to people who get these vaccines. You know, even, you know, the more enmeshed you are within the system and the harder it is to get out of it and all, like, the more trouble you're in, really, like, you know. So as I said, if we can here just strive to set up a community where we can exist without depending on that system, because that's where they have us, that's the future. Otherwise, we won't exist as an ethnic group. Do you know what I mean? In 100 years or 200 years' time, the only people I think that will exist as intact Irish people are people who didn't get involved in the vaccine, and who knows how it's going to turn out. But I mean, it's worth finding out, like, you know. So that's it, I think. Thanks very much to the chat for listening. Yeah, I'll come back and do it next week. Again, I think I have a couple of subjects I want to cover, and then maybe hopefully get a couple of guests on or something. Okay, thanks a million, guys. Talk to you soon.